Hello, my name is Randy McCluskey, and obviously I'm with Mighty Mag, and what I'm here today is to talk to you about the kit that you received to demonstrate the power of the magnets and what all they will do for you and the different vehicles they'll work on. But first of all, you received your kit now and you've got the different samples, and it's like, oh, what do I use this for, and why do they have that in here? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go by these one at a time and go through and show you what we do and how we get our kits ready. Okay, so let's just go ahead and start right out. We'll have one of them that's designed to have a dry kit. Okay, so it'll be something that we just have dry components in. So with this one, what we're going to do is we're just going to take a little bit of this pink sand. And you may have been a little curious when you saw sand in there, because sand, not being a ferrous material, it's not going to stick to the magnet, but we're going to use it as just an eye catcher to separate the ferrous that we've got in. So that would be the purpose for that. So stick that back in there, and then we're going to take a little bit of ferrous material here. If I get the lid off, that is. Well, I didn't want it stuck on there. There we go. So we'll just put a little bit of ferrous material in, and that will be basically what we do for a dry kit, but we'll talk about a little bit earlier some other ways you can modify that should you want to do that. So here we have on that one. That would be for the transmission dry kit. Now we'll have what we will consider the transmission wet kit, and we'll talk about why we do that. This has got a little bit of the sand already in it, but let's take our automatic transmission fluid, and what I recommend that you do is use the fluid that is appropriate for whatever you're demoing. And when I say that, there's a lot of companies that will make demonstrations, whether it's for these kinds of products or others, they use something like it. And something like it may be olive oil, pretty close color to engine oil, engine motor oil. So it'd be good. You could use just castor oil or something like that. The problem is that what you don't know if you're doing, excuse me, is you're duplicating the viscosity of the oil that you're trying to protect. So it's pretty important to stay pretty close to script on things like that. And we're going to go ahead and put a little bit of the ferrous material in here as well. That back where it belongs. And then we're also going to take the sand again and put just a little bit of the sand in there. Now, as you've noted, if you would prefer to use these, we do have funnels that are put in there so you can use for, we've got one for dry and one for wet. So if you feel like that would be appropriate in the circumstance you're under, feel free to use those as well, and particularly maybe with some of these smaller ones. Okay, so this would be our wet sample that we've got, and again, there are going to be other ways that we can use this other than just those components that are inside there. We could add some others. Okay, then we will have an oil sample. Okay, so this is going to be our dry oil sample. Let me get this transmission fluid moved. Okay, so we'll have a dry. We're just going to duplicate the same thing. We're just going to go with putting these in. And on that one, I am going to use one of those filters, or one of those funnels. Excuse me. And we'll just put a little bit of sand in there, and a little bit of the ferrous material. Okay. So again, that will be our dry. And then we'll do the same thing here. We're going to do a wet demonstration. This one is going to be for engine oil. So we'll go ahead and put engine oil in it. And there are two different funnels in here, as you may have seen. And that was because one of them you will want to use only dry products with, and wet, because they're very difficult to use dry after you've used wet in them, obviously. Now you'll notice that this is not getting filled up all the way, and I'll give you a good reason and demonstration for that in just a second. Add the dry here. or excuse me, the ferrous material. And then we're going to take some of our sand. Okay, put everything back together again. And again, these items like the sand and the ferrous material, you don't have to have those in your kits as you take them with you. This is just for your setup purposes. You can put anything that you want to in these slots. Perhaps like an oil filter is always good to, you know, make a spot for and stick an oil filter in there. And I'm going to show you a different kit here in a minute and some other things that you would be able to do as well. So let's go ahead and take this, put it back on, that filter back there, funnel back there. This way, there's wet. So now we'll put that one in there. So that's all we're going to do as far as prepping the kit. The rest of the kit is pretty much prepped until we get to our customer. In most cases, might be an exception with this box here. We might do a little something with this, but I'll get into that in just a moment, and I'm going to show you another kit, and we can kind of go over some of those. So what I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and just take this. I'm going to go back to one I think. We haven't shown you our BBs yet, and our BBs I'm going to show you in a moment how we would add those or where they're added. We'll take another kit that's already made up and use that. So